If your soil feels tired, lifeless, or stubborn no matter how much compost you add, the problem is not what you're putting in, it's who you're feeding. Worms don't multiply by accident, they explode in number when their invisible partners are thriving. Fungi and sugars are the secret language worms respond to, and once you understand it, your soil stops being dirt and starts acting alive. This is Soilsage Chronicles, and today we're going straight into the underground system that separates average gardens from unstoppable ones. Why worms care more about fungi than food scraps. Earthworms are not chasing banana peels or kitchen waste the way most people think. What they are actually after is the microbial bloom that follows. Fungi break down complex plant material into forms worms can digest. When fungal networks spread, worms follow them like a trail map. This is why forest soils are worm-rich without anyone adding compost. Fungal dominance creates a buffet worms can't resist. Bacterial-heavy inputs break down fast but burn out just as quickly. Fungal systems are slower, deeper, and more stable. Worms lay more cocoons and grow faster when fungal hyphae dominate the soil because that environment stays moist, structured, and nutrient-dense for longer periods. Sugars are, well, the ignition switch. Sugars are not fertilizer, they are energy. When you add simple sugars to soil, you are not feeding plants directly. You are jump-starting microbes. Fungi and beneficial bacteria wake up fast when sugars are present. That sudden surge creates heat, activity, and breakdown. Worms sense this almost immediately. This is why a soil amended with the right sugars becomes worm-active within days. The soil smells sweeter, aggregates form faster, castings appear where nothing existed before, sugars turn dormant biology into a feeding frenzy that worms thrive in. The best sugars are simple, clean, and diluted. Molasses, raw sugar, or plain white sugar all work when used correctly. The mistake gardeners make is overuse. Too much sugar causes anaerobic conditions and invites pests. Worms avoid that kind of chaos. So, the sweet spot here is both dilution and timing. Sugars should always be dissolved in water and applied to moist soil, never on dry ground. Moisture, you see, allows fungi to spread and helps prevent microbial shock. Now, when it comes to the fungal food that worms crave most, worms actually multiply fastest when fungi have access to carbon-rich, low-nitrogen material. This means things like shredded leaves, aged wood chips, cardboard, straw, and decomposed sawdust. These materials don't feed worms directly, they feed fungi, and then, well, fungi feed the worms. When you combine fungal foods with sugars, you really accelerate colonization. You can think of sugars as the spark and carbon as the firewood. Together they create a steady underground burn that worms absolutely depend on. The worm multiplication drench formula. This is the exact mixture used to activate fungal growth and, trigger worm reproduction without harming soil balance. Use 1 tablespoon of unsulfured molasses or plain sugar dissolved into 4 liters of non-chlorinated water. Stir until fully dissolved. Apply evenly over 4 square meters of soil. The soil should already be moist before application. If the soil is dry, water lightly first, wait about 30 minutes, then apply the solution. Follow immediately by adding a thin layer of carbon material, such as shredded leaves or aged wood chips, at about 2 to 3 centimeters thick. Do not mix it into the soil, just leave it right on the surface. This protects fungi from sunlight and keeps the feeding zone active. Apply this once every 3 to 4 weeks during warm growing seasons. More is not better. Consistency is what multiplies worms. Why, surface feeding really beats digging comes down to how worms actually live. Worms are surface feeders by nature. When food stays on top, worms pull it down gradually, creating these vertical channels that, well, improve aeration and water movement. On the other hand, digging disrupts fungal networks and collapses those worm highways. By keeping fungal food and sugars at the surface, you allow biology to, sort of organize itself. Worms move freely, fungi stretch uninterrupted, soil structure improves without any mechanical effort. So, what changes will you notice first? Within a week, soil texture becomes crumbly instead of, dusty or compacted. Within 2 weeks, small castings appear under mulch layers, and within a month, worm numbers increase noticeably when you lift organic matter. Plants respond quickly too. Leaves deepen in color, water infiltrates faster, roots penetrate deeper because the soil is no longer hostile. This isn't magic, it's biology doing what it's designed to do when supported correctly. Common mistakes that stall worm growth. Overfeeding sugars is the fastest way to suffocate soil life. Sticky, sour-smelling soil means oxygen has dropped. Worms leave or die under these conditions. Applying sugars to bare, sun-exposed soil burns microbes before they can establish. Always protect the surface with organic cover. Using chlorinated water slows microbial activation. Let tap water sit for at least 12 hours before mixing, or use rainwater when possible. Expecting instant results without carbon inputs leads to disappointment. Sugars alone create a spike, not a system. So, why does this method actually work in the long run? Well, this approach doesn't depend on constant inputs. Instead, it creates a food web that, pretty much sustains itself. Fungi are breaking down carbon, and worms are processing all that fungal-rich material. Their castings go on to feed the plants, and then plant roots release sugars right back into the soil. The cycle just keeps going. Once everything is established, worm populations kind of regulate themselves. You'll find that you need fewer amendments, less watering, and honestly, way less effort to maintain healthy soil. This is exactly how soils rebuild naturally, the same process that's been happening for thousands of years. Only now, you're the one guiding it. So, how often should you repeat applications for lasting results? During the active growing seasons, just one application every 3 to 4 weeks is enough. In those cooler periods, once every 6 to 8 weeks works better. And hey, remember to stop entirely during cold or dormant seasons, then resume when soil temperatures start to rise again. Worms really respond to stability. A predictable feeding rhythm allows their populations to expand, without crashing. There's a quiet power in listening to your soil. When worms multiply, your soil just stops fighting you. It drains when it should and it holds moisture when needed. Plants start to grow with less intervention. And honestly, this is what it means to work with your soil, not on it. Here at Soilsage Chronicles, this is the kind of knowledge we think should be shared, practiced, and passed on. It's not flashy, it's not complicated, it's just effective biological truth. If this guide helped you see soil differently, make sure you subscribe to Soilsage Chronicles for more deep practical wisdom. And, hey, share this with a fellow gardener who's still fighting their soil. Let's grow smarter together.